I'm Kay the Tax Lady, and I made this video for you to talk about the IRS's offer in compromise, because I oftentimes hear this language from people where they're saying that they can pay the IRS a fraction of what they owe, and they believe it's an automatic process. And it's probably because there was these advertisements by attorneys in the past where they would advertise that you could pay pennies on the dollar for your IRS debt. And I don't know if you've noticed that we don't see those commercials any longer. And that's because the IRS intervened and Congress passed laws regarding the misleading advertisement. And now those words are no longer allowed to be used, because really a fraction of the population is eligible to pay that pennies on the dollar amount. It's not automatic. It's also the least certain method of negotiation with the IRS when you owe them. Recently, the IRS streamlined the process and even relaxed their rules to try to increase the number of acceptances. And even with that, less than half of the offers they received are accepted by the IRS. Furthermore, it takes them a minimum of 6 months to process your request, and oftentimes a lot longer, even up to 24 months before they'll give you a yes or a no on your offer. So it's not a simple process. And in fact, if the IRS determines that you have enough assets and or future income to pay your tax debt in full, then they're going to require that you pay it.
To submit an offer in compromise to the IRS, you will need 2 tax forms, numbers 433 and 656. There are 3 versions of Form 433, so you will need to determine which one applies to you. But all versions of this form request specific details regarding everything you own and your monthly income and expenses. As I'm showing on this slide, you'll have to list all of your bank accounts, including stock accounts, retirement accounts, everything that you have. You'll have to list all of your assets, your home, your car, your furniture, your clothing, everything inside your home. You'll have to list all of your income, and I do mean all of it, your wages, your child support, alimony, Social Security. And then you'll also have to list all of your expenses, loans, utilities, medical bills, food, vehicle expenses, and anything else that you might have.
As you can see, Form 433 is paperwork intensive. And in fact, the IRS can ask you to submit 3 months worth of pay stubs, loan statements, utility bills, anything that you put on the form with regards to your income and expenses. They can ask you for 3 months of proof on every single one of those before they'll accept it. But once you've completed the Form 433, in the end, you're going to know what your assets are worth, and then you're also going to know how much leftover income you have after paying all of your bills. And you're going to use that information to complete the next form, which is Form 656.
You use this form to make your offer to the IRS. And your offer is the value of all the assets you listed on the Form 433, plus all the monthly leftover income multiplied by 12 or 24. I want to be sure you understand what I mean by the leftover income or the disposable income. On Form 433, you're showing the IRS, this is how much money I bring in, and this is how much money goes out every month. And then in the end, you're showing them, and this is how much is left over, if any. That leftover income is called disposable income. It's money that you don't need to pay your bills. And so the IRS wants you to multiply that leftover money by 12 or 24 months, depending on which payment option you choose. And there are 2 different options. The 12-month option is called the lump sum payment option. And with that, when you make your offer, you're going to send in 20% of your offer with the form, and then you're going to divide the remaining 80% over 5 or less payments that you will make to the IRS within 5 months of them accepting your offer. The 24-month offer is called the installment option. And with this option, you will send in the first payment with your offer on the Form 656, and then you continue making those payments every month, even while the IRS is considering the offer. And that and the installments could be anywhere from 6 months to 24 months. Some of you might be asking, well, what happens if I complete the Form 433 and after I take the exclusion amounts I'm allowed on my car and on my household belongings, there's nothing left. I have no value in any assets. And then I also have no disposable income. I'm living week to week. In those cases, there are two options. One is you can call the IRS and ask them to put you in currently not collectible status. That's called CNC status. Or you can make an offer of $500 or $1,000 and see what happens. Something I hear people say all the time is that they're just going to put everything in their family members' names. And if things are not already in other people's names before you make the offer and then you all of a sudden do all this, the IRS is going to know you've done it. They're going to be able to investigate that. So I don't recommend you do that because it's illegal to hide your assets in that way. But something you can do legally, if you have a lot of cash on hand and you don't want the fair market value of your bank accounts to be so high, what you can do first before making an offer is to take your money and pay future bills, pay off debts, and then in that way, and wait out the 3 months, because you have to do that 3 months of daily average value on your accounts. Wait out the 3 months. It will reduce the value, the average daily value of all those accounts that you put on the Form 433. And that is something you can do legally. Another option too, if you're doing this on your own and you're having difficulty with the IRS, you can ask that your case be transferred to the local revenue office in your town, and you can work with them one-on-one, and oftentimes they can give you more leeway. Another thing you might want to do is consider bankruptcy. You would need to talk to a tax attorney.
So I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions, as always, you can reach me at kaythetaxlady.com. That's Kaye, thetaxlady.com. Thank you.